Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to start a garden from seeds. Now I've got a whole bunch of seeds here, some from last year, some new ones, and I have a couple seed greenhouses to get the plants growing, as well as some regular potting mix. Now you can get some seed starter mix, but this seems to work just fine for me, so I'll be using this today. So stick around guys, I'll show you how to do this. So I'm going to get started on filling up these trays with the potting soil, and I'm going to fill them up almost all the way up to the top because this will settle once you add some water to the soil. It will drop down a little bit, and there's really no great way to fill these up. I'm just going to start pouring it on top and leveling it out by hand, and that's really the best way that I've found so far. So that's going to take a little bit of time to get every slot filled up, and then I can start adding my seeds to each of those slots. Something that I would recommend, it's super helpful, especially if you're going to be experimenting with new plants that you haven't started from seeds yet. They look very different when they first start sprouting than when they are actually the mature plant with the mature leaves on it. So if you label where you place the seeds, it seems kind of obvious, but it really will help a lot down the line, especially if one type of seeds is faulty and you can't really grow anything off of that. You can quickly get some more seeds and start another batch before it gets too late in the season. Now another really good tip is to look on the back of the package of the seeds. This really will give you a ton of helpful information about the plant, how much sunlight they need, how long it takes for them to germinate or sprout, how deep you are supposed to plant these seeds when planting, also how far apart they should be from each other, and gives you a really nice chart depending on where you are geographically, what month you can kind of start to plant these seeds. Now I have all the seeds that I'm going to start growing planted already in here, and I have a couple trays left over, and I have a bunch of these petals from a succulent that wasn't doing so well, so I took the petals off, and you actually can propagate this type of succulent from the petals. So I'm going to place those on top of the soil and let those go, see if those will start sprouting new plants or not. So I'll let you guys know in about a week how this goes. I'm going to monitor these seeds. And the great thing about these greenhouses is you really don't need to water them that much. Once you get the water at a good level, you can kind of leave them for about a week or a little bit longer, and it still should be just fine because it traps all that moisture inside and doesn't let the seeds dry out too quickly. Now I left these lamps on top of these greenhouses for a week, and this is what happened. Now it just now started needing a little bit of water because the tray on the right side actually lifted the plastic up off of the greenhouse because the plants were getting too tall. So I'm gonna need to fix that, but it's looking great. So we've got here already, everything's just taking off. This is really good. I've got right here, this is the okra coming in. That really took off first and grew up to the top of the plastic and started lifting it off of the tray. I have the lavenders sprouting and coming in. That took about the longest for this section. We have the cherry tomatoes right here. We have the regular large tomatoes in this section. We have the bell peppers. And then we have some jalapenos coming in right there. And then we also have back here both kinds of cucumbers already sprouting as well. Now on this side, I believe this is some more lavender. I moved the trays over, so that's lavender. The forget-me-nots and rosemary haven't come in yet, but the light wasn't really on those as much as it was the succulents. So I'm gonna shift it around and try to put the light on top of these ones to get those to come in. But the succulents that I started out of the petals, they're really taking pretty well. I cut off all the old petals because they're starting to die, but these have already taken root and started growing their own plants. So those worked really well. I'm going to keep these under the light and have a nice strong light shining on those because they really need a lot of sunlight in order to grow full like they should. So there's the garden so far. I need to start transplanting these into some bigger pots because they're already outgrowing the greenhouse that I have for them. So I'll eventually move them into some other larger pots till I get ready to plant them out during the spring. So they'll stay in here under the light, growing till I'm ready to plant for the spring. Let them get a lot stronger before I put them in the hot sun as well as the cold nights. It still is frosting here at night, so I need to wait till the weather warms up enough to where we don't have to worry about that. So I've already got the covers back on. The tomato plants and cucumber plants are almost too large for the cover. I'm gonna let them stay for maybe a couple more days and then transplant them, so they'll be a little bit larger before I transplant. But all the okra seeds that have sprouted, I have now in these 6 square pots that are big enough for them, should be big enough for them to grow until I plant this season. Now I'm just trying to wait long enough for the frost to stop freezing overnight before I plant these. So they'll probably stay down here, hopefully another couple weeks before the frost stops. So that just about finishes up my video for today. Honestly guys, this is a great way to save some money in your garden each year when you go to plant. Instead of buying every single one of these plants at the hardware store or garden center, plan ahead, save some money. I hope you guys enjoy this one. Also go check out my channel. I've got a bunch of other YouTube videos about how to build some raised beds for your garden, trellises for cucumbers and green beans, grapevine trellis, a bunch of different things. So go check those out. If you have any suggestions for other content that you would like to see me do or figure out in my garden, just let me know in the comments down below and maybe I'll make a video for that as well. So if you guys don't mind, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well if you like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.